2, 1. Okay, streaming. Hello.
Hi. Are we live?
We are live. Hello, good evening, everybody. This is Lin.
Hi, I'm Jada.
And thank you for joining us for the very first episode of Down the Rabbit Hole. And it's a special series, hashtag Inner Work for Coaches. And there's a reason why we came out with this series, right, Jada? But
Yep.
before that, you want to introduce yourself?
Okay, let me jump straight in. So I'm Jada. I started coaching since the year 2007. So it's been about 13 years. Wow. So I'm a faculty on CCI. I'm a trainer, a supervisor, and I'm mentoring coaches who are looking to be certified.
I see. Nice. Okay. Jada and I have known each other for years. We go back, I think, half our life.
Almost. Oh my God.
Yes.
We know each other since we were 17.
Yes. So we've journeyed together for many, many years. So I'm very excited that we're doing this together. My name is Lin. I am a Master Certified Coach with ICF. I also train coaches, and it's ultimately what I really, really love doing. So this topic is very, I feel a lot for it because we both believe that it's important, right, Jada, that coaches embark on inner work. We need to be able to look within ourselves, because if we are the change catalyst, if we are, preaching and helping people create change in their lives, well, it all points back to us, correct?
Yeah. Do you want to share with everyone why did we decide to call the show Down the Rabbit Hole?
Yes, we should. But before that, shall we say hi to the people who are joining us?
Okay, yes, of course. Yes. I forgot about that. This is my first time going on Facebook Live, so a little bit clueless here.
Yeah, if you're an adventure in life, do Facebook Live, okay? Because you get your heart pumping before you go live.
Oh gosh, the adrenaline is crazy.
Okay, hi, I see Cynthia. Hello. And Sonali. If you can hear us, please give us a thumbs up.
This is my first time going on Facebook Live. Oh. That was me on my Facebook. So sorry.
So if you guys can hear us, can you click the like button so that we know that you can hear us?
Would you also want to type into the chat just to introduce yourself?
Yes, we have more people joining, 15 people. Good. Please put your names in chat. Hi, Natalie. Oh, hi, Naina. Hi, Stephanie. Oh, it's so nice to see all of you. Thank you for joining us. Great. Okay, awesome. So how did we end up on Down the Rabbit Hole?
Okay, so maybe let me share, if you guys know the story of Alice in Wonderland, right? Alice was sitting by the tree and she was reading a book, and she looked up and she saw a white rabbit scuttering by with a pocket watch and then jumping into a hole. And I think Alice was curious and she was like, okay, I'll follow along. And she jumped in and, she tumbled down into the rabbit hole, basically. And because of that, she started seeing an alternate universe that is strange, is absurd, and is different from her current reality. So essentially, Down the Rabbit Hole is a metaphor for an entry into the unknown. So I think this conversation that we are having, right, is really about a metaphor of entering the unknown.
Yes. And I like what Eugene said. Eugene said, hi, hello, fellow rabbits. And he's so right. I think all of us, when we came up with this talk show, it wasn't going to be just about us and our lives and, what has been. We want to talk about what's current, what's now, the challenges that we're facing. And we want everybody to journey together with us. So it's going to be interactive. We like to engage you guys on chat as we are sharing, as we're kind of unpacking fears and talking about our current challenges, and we like you guys to chip in as well. Okay?
Yeah. So to add on to that, it's not the typical training session where we are teaching anything, but it's really a conversation where if you have something that you want to share about fear, if there's something that you are going through about fear and you would like us to, learn from you. Do put that into the chat. We'll be more than happy to see what you have to say.
L put a little rabbit emoticon. Okay, so if you relate to the rabbit metaphor, put your little rabbit emoticon in as well. Okay, so we're gonna go deep. We're gonna deep dive into our lives. And this talk show, we're gonna try to keep it short enough, 30, 40 minutes. We're gonna hold the space down for very pertinent topics in our lives. Today, we are gonna talk about fear. The next session, next Tuesday, we'll talk about something also very interesting, and we'll save that for last. And I want you guys to journey with us. That means to say, you know, in our everyday lives, it's very difficult to bring up and invite the unconscious, right? It's behind all the time, especially fears. Why is it that we picked fears to begin with? Because when we talk about growth and being change catalyst, definitely when you're on a path of growth, you are going to have to keep expanding and keep growing. And yet fears may not be in our face all the time, but it's always in the background lurking, and it influences our every thought and every decision without us knowing it most of the time.
Yep.
And so we want to bring it to the forefront and hold it down for everybody to examine your relationship to fear, what's going on right now. And we're really hoping that this conversation changes the way that you live. And the way that these conversations work is because you're going to hold in that space for 30 minutes. Hopefully in the next 1 week, it's just going to keep playing up in your mind and you become more aware of what's stopping you, but also where your strength is, what is it, where your inner lion is, and how you feed your inner lion.
Yeah.
Jada's a Leo, by the way, so you should have, you know.
No, so the thing is, even though I'm a Leo, it doesn't show on the outside. So just a little secret to share, right? I mean, it's not a secret. So prior to this call, I was really having anxiety and close to anxiety attack, you know, like what am I going to be saying? What am I going to be talking about, right? And so this itself, being here right now, talking to all of you, it's a huge act of courage for me. This is me facing fear.
And Jada, we have people in the chat saying, Sonali says, my biggest fear is not to live up to my potential.
Wow.
I'm getting goosebumps. My hair is standing. And Ching Ching also says, my biggest fear is living an ordinary life and being forgotten. Yeah, so real. So Jada, you're saying your fear is putting yourself out there. Why?
So maybe I can share a little bit about why Lin say the fear is about putting myself out there. The story to go is, so earlier this year, I kind of wanted to set a goal for myself. It was really simple. All I needed to do is to complete a workshop, an online course, and sell it and publish it and market myself out there. But for a good 6 months, right, I procrastinated on it. I was doing everything but recording myself and putting myself out there. So I did a lot of things. I bought an online course on how to create an online course. I bought my light, I bought my gears, I read lots of books just to make sure that my content is good enough. I did all of that, but I didn't do what I needed to do because I was so scared about putting myself. And I sat with it for a while, you know, because it was at the background, right? Every day you wake up, you're doing your stuff. You know you're supposed to do this, but I just kept putting it back. I kept procrastinating on it. And I think the thing was, I was really afraid of what people would think, of whether the content and the work that I'm putting out there, is it good enough? So at the back of it, I think there's a deeper conversation about whether I'm good enough. So that was like a fear that was really at the background. Yeah. And so one day I had enough of myself. So I had an internal meeting in my head, right? So I had a conversation. Okay, Jada, this is enough, okay? You are a coach. You're supposed to be a champion for people's possibility, and you can't do a simple recording. So it was at that point, I shifted. I know I needed to move. I needed to start doing something. And that's when I call you, Lin, remember?
Yes.
And that is how we also decided to do this Facebook Live.
Yes, because when we were talking, we realized that what we face is something that all of you are probably facing. And you know, sometimes it's very difficult because as coaches, we are there for our clients. But the question is, who is there for us?
Exactly. And also it gets really difficult to tell people about your fears because people will have the perception that, hey, you're a coach, you're supposed to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So how can you have all these fears, right?
Yeah. So we decided, okay, let's just kind of get together. Whatever we're facing, it's probably very real for not only us, but a lot of other people. And let's just all move together and grow and progress together. So, you know, you say you procrastinated for so long. It's difficult, right? Why did you not face your fears? Why was it so difficult for you to face that fear? Did you even notice it? That you were doing all these other things?
I think I'm aware of it to a certain level because I mean, it happened across the period of 6 months. So I think that's a long enough time to like realize something is wrong, you know, especially when friends ask, like during COVID, when we were in circuit breaker mode and people ask, hey, so Jada, what have you been up to? And then I'll say, oh, you know, I'm working on my online course, I'm writing. But then, you know, I know that I'm actually not, right? I'm doing a lot of other things. So there is that lurking awareness, like you said just now.
Right.
But I wasn't able to really name it. So it's kind of like confusing.
Yeah.
Right? Like you kind of know it's there, but you can't really get a grasp on it.
Yeah. So it is difficult to face our fears. There are a lot of things that stop us. I think procrastination is one, justification, and sometimes feeling really alone, feeling like nobody is going to be able to understand or help. And so we just choose to keep quiet. And because the more we keep quiet about it, we don't really face it, right? So all these things that stop us from facing the fear is actually what's getting in the way of us really sitting across ourselves and looking at it. And you know, it sounds so simple just coming out of my mouth, but yet all of us find it so difficult to do.
Yeah. So trust me, although it sounds as though it's simple to like just face it and cross it and do something about it, I don't think it is. It is not.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So Lin, I'm curious. I want to ask you, because you're like a master certified coach, right? You've been training and coaching for a long, long time. And I know a lot of the coaches on this live talk show right now, your student. So my question to you, right, is what is a fear that you are facing these days? What's a fear that's present for you right now?
So I don't know whether this fear is showing up more because we decided to do this topic. But ever since last week, I've been really face to face with my fear of asking for more, charging more. Okay. And I struggle so bad at it. For example, you know, when I need to pitch something in and I know that I should be asking for more. Like, okay, my L&D or my HR friends or my clients would tell me, you are undercharging, Lin. Okay, but even though they tell me that, I can't put that number down. Like I cannot increase the number in my head by 20%. I cannot put it down. I put it down and I'll delete it. And then I'll go, come on, Lin, you can do it. And I'll type it down again and I'll delete. And it's like, this is so stupid. You know, I'm like just fighting with myself. And I noticed that, you know, at the end of the day, right, what I'm struggling with is just this number in my head. That is what's causing me so much suffering and struggle. And the thing is that the fear is real. The reason why I cannot just put that number down and shoot it across is because I end up thinking of all the consequences of what's going to happen. Is the client going to say, oh, you're too expensive, or you know, you want to charge me so much? Are you sure you're worth it? And then it's down to, you know, am I worth it? Am I worth it? Would people pay for this? What if they don't? Yeah, it's so scary, even though it's so simple. And that's where I've been sort of suffering.
Then I'm going to ask you, like, so what do you do to overcome that? And before you answer, to all the people who's listening right now, I mean, can you relate to what Lin just said about the question about self-worth, about asking for what you really want?
And I tell you, okay, this is something I've never said this before, but when so I got my master coach certification, and then I was kind of chilling for a few years. I got a couple of corporate gigs, but to me, it's just gaining experience, okay? And then when I decided that, okay, I want to start to raise my fees. I want to bring myself up to the next level. I drew the strength from the fact that I have an MCC. I am one of 9 in Singapore. you see, and that gave me a little bit of strength to then command. But the truth is that it didn't, you know, I'm still relying on something external to tell me that I am worth it.
So internally, you don't feel that?
It's always a question. Like, what if I put this fee out? What would people think? I see Stephanie says, yes, 100%. Natalie, yes, definitely. Eugene, totally, all the time. And I know a lot of coaches can relate to that, right? Like, oh, I haven't gotten my ACC yet. I cannot charge so much, right? And yet, and on the other hand, you know of peers who haven't gotten their ACC just like you, but they are charging like $200 a pop. And you look at them and you go, how come they can do it? What is wrong with me?
I want to add a story to it, and just to prove a point, right? So, I mean, I've been training. I mean, I've been coaching for a long time, right? So a few months ago, I've got people approach me and ask me, "Hey, Jada, do you want to come into my company and do a talk about charisma?" And then I said, "Okay, sure, why not? I'll do it." And my friend then asked me, "So how much are you going to be charging? Because you know we can pay." And I said, "Oh no, it's okay. I'll do it for free." Oh my goodness! I said that. I said it's okay. I'll do it for free the first time, and then he asked it again. Are you sure? Because we can pay. You know, I mean, coaches who come in and train, we typically pay about X, Y, Z. I said, "No, it's okay. It's okay. I'll do it for free." And it's so silly. He asked me a couple of times repeatedly, "Are you sure you want to do it for free?" And even though, right, I know I should be charging, but I was really scared. I was thinking, like, if I say X amount, but what if I cannot deliver? What if I'm not good? Remember, that was my conversation, like, I'm not good. And so then I just say, okay, I'll do it for free. And that become my excuse to, in case I don't perform, I'm doing it for free.
Oh, it's like a back door.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I'm exposed now.
Okay, so I guess the question is, we can continue living like that, right? At the end of the day, you can charge whatever you want to charge. But why do we feel compelled to break through our fears? The both of us and the people who have joined us today. You know, you were drawn to this topic because there's a part of you that believes that you shouldn't live your life in fear. Like, you shouldn't be held back by your fears. Why? I'm very curious, Jada. Why do you choose to tackle it head on instead of doing the ostrich thing, bury your head in the sand and just continue the way that you are? You know, go sign up for more courses that teach you how to make online courses. Very wise. You become very wise after a while.
Oh gosh. Okay, but that's a good question. So why face it, right? Why face it?
Yeah.
I see it like a game. You know, like when you're playing games and you know that there's different levels to get to, and in every level, you have certain tools you need to get. You have certain monsters you need to fight. And so if I don't manage to battle or fight that monster, I won't be able to get to the next level. And then I'll forever be stuck playing that level over and over again. Oh my God, that's so boring. I mean, for me, that's very boring. And so it's like, after I've played enough of that same level, maybe it's time to like finally face that monster and then unlock and get myself to the next level. Yeah. What about you, Lin?
Why do I face my fears?
Yeah. Why do you choose to face your fears? Because you can continue charging as you are now, and I'm sure you still do.
Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, because I choose to face my fears because I cannot live with foregoing what could be my greater self. So I don't know what's on the other side of this dark, scary forest. But I cannot live with the fact that I know that there's something on the other side and I'm stopping, like I don't think I am so small and you know, weak to not be able to face up to myself. So it's more of that. Like, if I know that there's something greater on the other side, why do I forsake that? Why forsake that? that is dishonoring life, is dishonoring people who believe in me. Yeah. Yes. And I think maybe that is what feeds my inner lion. You know, there's this saying where we gain strength from the people who love us. Sometimes we may not have our own reason to step up or to face our fears. But when other people believe in us, we kind of have no choice. And it's like, can we allow ourselves to see what other people are seeing of us? And I've told you this so many times, Jada. I've told you, I've seen you in training over like since years ago, a decade ago. You are amazing in the front of the room. You are energetic, you're charismatic, you've got this amazing energy that draws people in. And I see that. And then on my side, I don't understand, why is it you don't get that? Why can't you see that?
Because exactly, that's fear blinding me. I mean, I wouldn't be able to see it because I'm wearing this lens that says fear. And with it, I see everything. With it, I mean, I see everything, but what the reality is.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if the moment we take out this lens, right, everything becomes very matter of fact. All the emotions that, I attach to that fear, all the stories that I put to that fear, this word fear, it just disappears. Then it becomes a matter of fact of doing what we need to do, right? Stepping into our power, playing that bigger game, becoming our bigger self.
You're right. You're onto something. So guys, can you put in chat, why is it you decide to face your fear? Why? You can choose to live the life that you live right now, but yet you're choosing to face your fear. So why? Okay, so we'll come back to you guys in a while. I was going to say, so when you say, actually, if we look past the illusion, the veil of illusion, it is what it is. A is A, right? Let's shrug. A is A. This is what it is. Why, so we are sort of, the illusion that is casted over our eyes is the taint, that the lens that you speak about. And when we get distracted from facing our fears through procrastination, justification, distractions, etc., we don't do the most important thing, which is to sit down and just be with that fear. Because that's the only way you're going to be able to walk through that forest, to walk into that dark cave, right? You got to stand in front of the dark cave, take a deep breath and go, I got this, and face it. And then the thing is, we don't even know what's on the other side. So we're just scared of the unknown.
Yeah.
And I just want to finish up this quote from Rumi. And he said, fear, I'm not going to quote him directly, right? But the idea of it is that fear is because there's non-acceptance of the unknown. If there is acceptance of the unknown, it becomes an adventure.
Wow. Can you repeat that again? Can you say that again?
Oh, you're testing my memory. Fear is the non-acceptance of the unknown. If there is acceptance of the unknown, it becomes adventure.
And that's where all the fun begins.
Exactly. So we've got a lot of things going on in chat. So to our question of why you guys still choose to face your fears. Sonali says it comes in the way of my life purpose. Yes, I have another quote for you. And I think it's from Rumi, because I love Rumi. Let me just pull it out for you, Sonali. And I think a lot of you would be able to relate to this.
So I'm not able to see the chat because I opened it up just now and something.
Okay, I'll read out to you. Okay, Sonali, this is for you and everybody else who believes that you have a bigger purpose. All right, it's from Rumi, again, my favorite poet. He says this: wake up. This world that you dream holds nothing to fear. My hair is standing.
Which is so true. When we are born, when we are a kid, when we are children, we had no fear, right? We run, we scream, we shout, we laugh out loud. We had no fear. We asked for what we want.
Yeah, yes.
Right?
Benny says, fear is the story we tell ourselves so we don't have to face risk. However, without risk, there is no growth. Thank you for that, Benny. You're right. Fear is a story. It is a narrative, right? Why are we continuously running this story in our head? That's also something to look at. I'm just going to read out for you. Okay, Cynthia says, I'm facing my fears to maximize the value that I can deliver for myself and others. Thank you. Ching Ching says, every time I face the fear, despite being scared, I start to really see, experience, and believe my strength that was blinded like Jada, that others could see, which I used to reject. Yes.
Ching Ching, high five.
Okay, Stephanie, because facing my fears puts me in the driver's seat of my life. My fears tell me what the story I'm telling myself is, and working through that helps me grow. Good point, Stephanie. And maybe the growth doesn't come only when we've crossed the chasm. The growth comes when we sit and face the lion.
Yeah. So I think for each one of us, our fear's unique, right? And fear, I think it's like a double-edged sword. It can freeze you, it can trip you, but on the other hand, it can expand you and propel you to ways and that you cannot imagine before. And the thing to understand is that fear actually has a role to play in our lives, right? If we can learn to understand what is it that fear represents for us, what is it that we must learn from it, then we can learn how to maneuver it, work around it, face the lion, like you say, Lin, and then enter that dark cave over there and see what's on the other side.
Yeah. So I remember so many times in my initial years when I was a young coach, okay? I was literally, I think, quite young. I was 20 years old.
You're still young.
I'm still young, thank you. You're only saying that because you're the same age as me. But young not only in age, but as in, noob lah, newbie, right? And of course, at that time, we all know that people don't see such young coaches around. And so many times I had to face clients who are older, and definitely they will ask me, you're so young, how can you coach me? In fact, I just got that question again last week, right? And the only thing that kept me going was my conviction that coaching can help you. Coaching can change your life. Coaching can change the way you see yourself. It's so powerful. And because it was my purpose, or what anchored me was so much bigger than me, that fear just did not make sense anymore. So now also the reason why I tell you these fears around charging and why I'm really committed to doing this is because I feel so stupid to have a bigger purpose and then be kind of ding-donging, right, in this stupid little game that I'm playing with myself. I'm not even having a conversation with other people, I'm just having a conversation with myself. And then like typing and deleting things in my proposal. I mean, it's so silly. So you just, like, after a while, like what you say, you just get so sick of yourself. Like, what are you doing? And then you just go, come on, something must be better.
Yeah. I think like you, a lot of coaches that's here right now, they tap into that space where they know that, they can be bigger than who they are.
Yeah.
They've experienced that moment where they stood in somebody's, they stood for somebody or they stood for themselves, which is why they decided to say, hey, I'm choosing to be a coach because I want to be in that position to empower people. I want to be in that position to help others, which is why, and that's also them choosing to work on themselves too.
Yeah. And you see, if we never put ourselves in that position, we will really never be forced to dig deep to find out what is the treasure that lies beneath everything. Like, look at all of you guys right now. Whatever that you can do, you once upon a time didn't think you could. Like, you also, like, doing this Facebook live thing, like, just, rewind a couple of weeks ago, I don't think you will have imagined this. But because if we don't force ourselves, we will not be forced to dig deep and find that true talent or the gifts that we have.
Yep.
And that's the adventure that Rumi spoke about.
Yeah.
So I have an exercise for everybody because we want to make this interactive. And so this is the book that I just got is called Creative Flow. And it's a gorgeous book because it is got 360, what was my camera? 365 ways to embrace the now. And it's just a lot of fun activities with, you know, like it's very creative stuff. So I found something that I'd like all of you to do, all of us to do. So Jada, you too, okay? Okay, so this is the exercise. Find the strangest object that you can find around you. So grab the strangest object that you can find around you right now and explore it. So take it, hold it in your hands and just explore it, okay? So
Strangest thing, is it?
Anything, the strangest thing. Not the Netflix show, yeah? Stranger things. I'll take my husband.
Okay, I got one.
Okay, so guys,
just to take one strange thing in the room.
The strangest thing.
Okay.
Okay, so guys, let me know whether you've got what did you guys pick? Put in chat, okay? So I got let me show you guys. Oh, I've got this. It's this. Okay, so is this, to me, it's a very ugly pen because the blue is ugly and it's not my pen. It's just been sitting next, you know, in my pencil holder. Somebody put it there. And I just realized, right, before with this activity, for months, I've been rejecting this pen. Every time I look for a pen to pull, I have this at this pen because of the color. So this is down to the story that Benny said, like this story that we tell ourselves about something, the interpretation of what is, that keeps us away, that repels us, and that prevents us from engaging with that thing. So that's what happens with our fear, right? So when I explore it, I realized that okay, I judged it to be ugly. I hated the color. But when I explored it, I realized that if I, you know, the blue is actually a very beautiful, you know, in another context, you would love to dive into waters that are this blue. And I never connected with it.
How does that blue feel for you, actually? If you were to go into it.
Oh, actually, it's a bit exciting. It's like when you go snorkeling, it looks calm, but actually there's this whole world of adventure beneath. Actually, yeah, I mean, you know, the relationship changes to it right now.
And just,
yes,
I'm just thinking if you want to go into this, but I mean, if you had that image of like snorkeling under the blue water, right? If you follow it, what kind of adventure would you be going on?
Colorful, and it's that mix of unnatural, and there's always this discomfort, you know, underwater because it's not a natural, you know, thingy. But yeah, it's beautiful, it's mysterious, yeah. So it's that balance. It's actually both. Yeah, life isn't all rainbows on the other side, but there's a beautiful part to it, and there's of course that part that's uncomfortable, but that's what makes it human, isn't it? What do you grab?
This
I hate that green.
I hate this green. Oh gosh, why would that be such a green color? But okay, so during circuit breaker, I bought this. Basically, it's the piece of green screen that you put behind you for that virtual background. And I bought it because I wanted to do my recording, right? And I had this like coat hanger here just to like hold it in place. Anyway, I've never used it once. I look at it, I'm like, I just put it aside. Put it aside. Like, no.
Right. You don't want to engage with it. It irks you, yeah.
It just repels me. I'm like, oh gosh, it's so ugly. Like, why would people have such a green piece of cloth?
Like, why would God invent such this shade of green? But actually, when we get past, so guys, what strangest thing did you all pick? And what was it like interacting with it? Like, so crossing that hurdle and getting past your perceptions and actually interacting with it. What is that like right now?
Are they able to type into chat what's something that they put? Or have they?
Nobody has typed yet, so I'm asking them. But so how do you feel, Jada? Like, if you get past the irk? So explore it and experience it.
I had get to tap into my imagination for this. You know, grass, when they're fresh, like really fresh, it's very close to this. So it's that sense of freshness, I think. That's if I get past the color, there's a sense of energy from this thing, actually, from this color. There's an energy that is loud. Like, look at me, look at me, look at me.
Oh, that is the message that you need, Jada.
Oh gosh. Right?
Yes. The wisdom of the green cloth. Look at me, look at me. That is
Which
your
is like,
inner...
you know, I was so scared about putting myself out there, but now it's like...
Exactly. This is what you need.
This is not rehearsed, guys. This really just came up.
This is the pot at the end of the rainbow. Okay, now you pay me my MCC fee. Okay, Cynthia has about some metallic preserved roses. They're real and live for 1 full year. I realize everything is possible. You mean like if you get Botox, is it? You can look good and you can preserve yourself. Natalie, a weird mochi soft thing in the shape of a bear that you can squish. Interesting. So if we get past that strangeness of it, there is a message that is in there for us. And I think that's what you were trying to get at when you asked me, right? If I kind of go into this blue, what is it like?
Yeah.
Just dive. Just dive. You know, to me, it's like, I will never know the limit of my worth if I don't test it. Right now, I'm already compromising. Like, I've already lost the bet, right? Because I'm already giving into that figure in my head. I've lost it. I've lost the bet. But if I don't try and if I don't dive into the deep blue waters, I will never know what's on the other side. And there's a whole world waiting for me.
A whole new world.
Oh, God. Okay. Hi, Meda.
Oh, is Meda here? Hi,
yes.
Meda.
Okay, so we are coming to about 40 minutes. Where are we at right now? What did we unpack around fears and feeding courage?
I think we talked about a lot of things, right? We talked about, you know, taking away emotions, taking away the stories, the interpretations, the lenses that we put on when it comes to fear. And then when we take them off, it's just a matter of fact of doing it, of facing the lion.
And before we can do that, we have to sit down with it. So the next time we feel, these are always creepy crawlies at the back of our, neck. And I think there's awareness. This is where the role of awareness comes in. We have to be really aware of whether we are operating out of fear. And when we notice that, to sit in it, to just sit in it, right? This is what shamans do. They just sit and they just be. I have something else I have something from Deepak Chopra I'd like to read to everybody. Okay, after this. So we'll come back to this. But okay, sitting and being with the fear so that we can see past the illusion, the veil of illusion, for what it really is. Okay, what else have we talked about? If we don't do it, we won't know how big a game we can play. We won't get to meet our greater self.
We don't get to dive in and see what's the adventure on the other side.
And who we can be in that adventure. Who knows, Jada? 10 years from now, you might be on like the world's largest stages, like seducing the crap out of everybody.
Lin, babe, 10 years? That's too long.
Oh, sorry.
I'm like looking at 3 or 5, okay?
Fine.
Too long, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, we all heard that, by the way. So now you're accountable. So trust in our greatness, trust in our purpose, be aware of when fear is holding us at ransom or manipulating us, and then don't reject it, because at the end of the day, these are parts of ourselves that we need to get past. I mean, if I've been dealing with self-worth for so many years and I haven't dealt with it, obviously it's going to keep coming up until I deal with it. Mm.
So sit with it, see what's the lesson, the story it has to teach us. Yeah.
So I'll read off this beautiful affirmation I want to leave with everybody, and then maybe we can set them a challenge. Yeah. Okay. So this is an affirmation, guys, from Deepak Chopra, and I'm going to read it for all of you. Okay. Going beyond the limitations of fear. Today, I will let go of all fear. I will realize that fear comes from my self-image and not myself. My ego is an image that I have created. By letting go of an ego, I will embrace the truth inside me, which is fearless. That is so true. Truth is fearless. Whenever my ego overshadows my spirit, it creates tightness in my body. I will witness the sensation of fear by feeling it and taking the courageous step to do the very thing I fear. I will not fight my ego. I will witness it. This is the highest form of the human intelligence, to observe ourselves without judgment, to observe yourself without judgment. Today, I will observe my fear, and my witnessing it will transform it into love. I'll say that again. Today, I will observe my fear, and my witnessing it will transform it into love.
So when we face our fear, we step into the space of love.
I think what presents us is whether we love ourselves enough to get through this. I would, and I think that's what I'm realizing now. Why would I not give in to my fear and my self-belief of not being worth it? Because I love myself. I don't want to believe that I'm not worth. I don't want to believe that.
Yeah.
So, all right. So what's the challenge for them, Jada?
Okay, so I think it's a pretty obvious one. So take a look at what's currently something that what's the fear that you're currently facing in your life right now. Okay, so like what we just talked through in the last 30 minutes, sit with it, observe it, get to know it, understand what is it that the fear is trying to teach you. And then we'll like you to face the lion. Okay, so step into that space and face your lion.
Feed your lion. Face your lion.
Feed your lion. Face your lion and feed your lion. Face your fears and feed your lion.
Okay, good. So this talk show, we have it planned up for the next 4 Tuesdays, and we invite you guys to keep joining us every Tuesday because we're going to journey. And the reason why we wanted to keep it intense on a weekly basis is because if we hold this space, imagine, and we're talking about these kind of topics that really influence us on a daily basis, and we will bring it to our awareness, and whatever we focus on changes or amplifies. So if we focus on courage, and we focus on self-worth, and we focus on self-love, and we focus on purpose, guess what? That is going to amplify. If we run away and we keep focusing on I can't do it, fear, I'm not good enough, I'm not worth it, then that is just going to amplify. So we have a choice right now. Okay, so the invitation here is in the next 1 week, guys, go and embrace yourselves, go sit with yourself, go and face the lion, go do something that is going to be an act of courage for you. And when we come back next Tuesday, we will be on a different topic, but we would still like to hear what you guys did, okay? Because we're all coaches, so of course we do some accountability thing. And what's the topic for next show?
Trying to recall right now. We're going to be talking about your inner diversity.
Yeah? What is that?
So today we only talk about fear, which is one part of who you are. What about all the other aspect of you? We're going to be talking about that. So your inner diversity, all the different parts that makes up your unique you.
We took 40 minutes to talk about fear. How long are we going to take for?
Got an MCC coach here, so I'm pretty sure we're very efficient.
Just everybody buy a green cloth and then we'll all get enlightened. So inner diversity, and I think what comes with that inevitably is self-judgment, because there are certain parts of ourselves that we like, we embrace, and there's certain parts of ourselves that we definitely judge. And we're going to be talking about that next Tuesday. We're going to deep dive into the parts of ourselves that we judge, and then how do we embrace those parts so that we can expand and become fuller people. Eric says, for a moment, I thought inner demons, inner diversity. Also, demons are part of that. Okay, guys, so thank you for joining us today. And we'll go through all your chats and respond to that. But otherwise, go kill it in the next 1 week. And we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
See you. And yeah, I did my first act of courage.
All right, so if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up so we know we did well and we'll keep doing it. You know, Jada needs it.
Please fit my life.
And if you have a for next Tuesday, think of a good coach friend you want to bring into this and invite them for the live talk show. And then we'll all just progress together.
Yeah. So same time, 9 p.m. next Tuesday. See you guys.
Bye.